I got great news for you. Remember, I told you my beautiful technical issues happen.
I see
So,
you're frozen.
I am frozen. I don't know why, because I'm literally plugged in.
There you are. There you are.
It's just perfect.
You're listening to the Media Man Dan podcast, your place for music, movies, news, reviews, and interviews. Welcome to the show. Get ready to rock. Let's rock!
What's up, guys, and welcome to the Media Man Dan podcast. Today, I have an awesome guest with me, Mr. Ehren of the band Weekend Picnic. What is up, my friend? It is our first time meeting face to face. How you doing?
I'm great, man. It's great to meet you. We've been talking in DMs and stuff for a while now, and you did all these awesome reactions to a bunch of our songs, and I'm finally like kind of meeting you face to face, like digitally, but
Yeah,
it's definitely better than like texting back and forth or whatever, you know?
totally. And you're like not too far from me up north. You're over in Minnesota, so
Yeah.
like Mall of America is a great destination to eventually go to with my fiance. So you might meet me in person one day.
Yeah. Let me know if you ever come out.
If you guys tour in Chicago, then you'll definitely meet me because I'll make sure I'm there.
Awesome.
All right. My first question: how has your year been going so far?
It's been going well. We're just played our first show of the year last Saturday in Minneapolis, and that was awesome. We played with Sleep Signals. We were the main support on that, and then we played with Dreams Aside, Leaving Hope, and Kept Awake, three other local Minneapolis bands, and they all kicked ass. It was a great time, great turnout. Other than that, good. It's been crazy, working a lot and working on a lot of music, and we've gotten quite a bit done. Family life's crazy, of course, but how about you?
I'm doing good. Year's been
Awesome.
pretty smooth. I started working out last year and I plan on continuing that, but I just recently had hernia surgery so that I could get my core back into shape. So I'll hopefully have a nice six pack by the end of the year.
There we go. At least a six pack of Coors Light, right?
Yes, yes, of course. As long as it's not Bud Light, right? Right, my next question: who is your biggest influence in music?
You had to hit me with that one right off the bat, huh?
Oh yeah,
Um, there's a couple, honestly. Breaking Benjamin is probably number one. Um, Breaking Benjamin, 3 Days Grace, Adam Gontier. Vocally, probably Adam Gontier, Ben from Breaking Benjamin, and Jacoby Shaddix, Papa Roach.
hell yeah.
They're just, I mean, have always been influential in the rock scene in general. But those three bands have broken boundaries when it comes to radio play and not necessarily only rock stations. And, you can look at almost anyone and they can sing at least the chorus of one of their songs.
True.
But they're, I mean, just have always been grade A, top tier, in my opinion. Just very marketable, amazing, hooky, very earwormy rock. And I aspire to, make music like that other people can hear once or twice and know the chorus and sing along at the top of their lungs. And that's in our bio. We want to make music for people who can sing it at the top of their lungs. It's one of the most important aspects of this for us.
Take two, because technical difficulties happen to Americans that have bad Wi-Fi. No, I'm gonna blame the camera in this sake. I have no idea what happened with the camera. All right. That was biggest influences. So you said 3 Days Grace, Papa Roach, and Breaking Benjamin. Favorite album by one of those bands?
Probably The Connection by Papa Roach, like one of their sleeper albums.
Oh.
That album was perfect, in my opinion, man. It was perfect start to finish. Every song is amazing. 1X, 3 Days Grace. And
wait. Is that the one? Oh, The Connection. You're right. That is a sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
Holy
no
shit.
No one talks about that album, and it is so good.
It is. It's a really, really good sound for them. That was the one that was right before their collab with what's her name?
Maria Brink.
Yeah, Maria Brink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, before that album.
Their best album. They tried different things on it and just blew it out of the park. I think, man, it's nostalgic for me too, because I worked security back then, and I would sit in my car before my shift for like an hour because it was, 40 minutes away from my house. So I always got there super, super early, and I would sit and listen to that album. It was like right when it came out, I'd just listen to it over and over and over again. Oh, I got the nostalgia bug now.
Hey, no worries, man. Nostalgia is a very important thing, especially when it comes to anyone that interviews with me. I'm going to be testing your nostalgia later on. We're going to have a lot of fun diving deep into the childhood memories. And I will, since you gave me hints before we started talking, it's going to add on so much more to it. So this might be like a 3-hour interview. I'm just kidding. But okay, so we did album, and that was The Connection and 1X by 3 Days Grace. Favorite song off of 1X?
Probably Never Too Late. That came out in 2006. So I was like a freshman in high school. And you're angsty and you're depressed and stuff, and it's like one of those songs.
Oh yeah,
that like really sticks with you and you listen to. Yeah. And Breaking Benjamin, so cold. I remember I would like lay in bed at night when I was younger and like listen to it on a CD player, and I was like pretending I was on stage singing it in front of a bunch of people. And at our last show that we just played, I sang it in front of a bunch of people.
Hell
we
yeah.
covered it live. And
you made that dream come true.
Yeah, dude. It was like, I had like goosebumps, and the crowd loved it. And people were like headbanging to it and like really getting into it. And it was awesome. And it was like the best feeling ever. Like a dream being fulfilled. It sounds super corny, but it's true.
It is. And I'm happy that you were able to do that as a vocalist, because that's going to go into my next question.
Ooh, let's go.
My favorite cover that you guys have made is the medley of Numb and Crawling. What is your experience with Linkin Park, and did Chester impact your vocal style?
They were also like one of my big bands. They're definitely top 5 bands for me growing up and now, I feel like everyone who's in hard rock or, like earwormy, catchy, radio-esque rock is inspired in one way by Linkin Park now. And those 2 songs by them, I would argue, are probably their best work, in my opinion. Obviously we all have opinions.
Yes.
But when we started out as a band, we did like a crowdfunding for our debut album through Indiegogo, and one of the tiers was a live performance. It was like a half-hour live acoustic set. We'd come to your house and play for you. And we did a couple of those, and we covered Numb, or I'm sorry, we covered Crawling by Linkin Park. And it was so dope to be able to like play that in front of people in a different way, you know, like kind of in our own way. And Ben, our rhythm guitarist, he's also our composer. He does everything but the lyrics. And then at the end, we all do our own, we add like our personal elements to the songs Ben wrote. But he's like, let's do a medley of Numb and Crawling. And, you know, sometimes with that acoustic album we did, Time and Tide, it's all acoustic songs and covers. That was like, we did that all ourselves. We recorded all of that ourselves. We produced it all ourselves, everything. And it was cool because we all had conversations like back and forth about like, let's try this for this song and this for this song. And it was like a really good like bonding and team building exercise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it came to that, it was like no one had anything to say besides, oh, let's do that. You know what I mean? And so like, it was cool like being able to do it acoustic because there isn't like, they didn't do an acoustic version of those songs, you know? And so we were able to give honor to Linkin Park and Chester by doing it our own way. But like also, like if you didn't look at the title of the song, it's Crawling, right? Until the bridge. And then it's like, oh, sorry. Or it's, oh, psych, here's Numb too. And then they layer over each other.
So
that was
perfectly.
cool. Like, and it was like easy to get emotional over it. You know, like when I was singing it, like I definitely like got really into it when we were recording it. And it was easy to, because those songs are meaningful, and they're meaningful to me, and they're meaningful to my bandmates, and they're meaningful to my friends, and, you know, all the people that I grew up with and was in school with. We were always like hanging out after school, listening to those songs. And it's like a big part of who I was growing up. And so that's what I love about my band, because we're all like the same age, give or take a couple of years, but we grew up in the same time period. Not to sound too Netflixy, but, you know, like we have the same like love for certain songs, certain bands, and that it was super, super dope being able to do that song and put our own spin on it. Not just do like a straight cover. Because, sorry, I'm super long-winded on this, but that song, we didn't want to just straight up cover it. We wanted to do something special with it because they're special songs.
Yes.
You know, so putting two songs into one in our own way was like just a great opportunity to kind of show that side of us too.
And it was an evolution, like you're saying. So you guys were appreciating the same music because, like you said, you're growing up around the same time. You're both hearing what was popular at that moment. And of course, Linkin Park will forever be popular because, like you said, they have inspired and created so much sound that we're still listening to today.
Absolutely.
The newest like re-release of Meteora, with all of the extra tracks, with all of the backing that they have, like the instrumentals alone, you can hear like elements of Red, of course, in there. You can hear elements of, Breaking Benjamin, and of course, Bring Me the Horizon, and, you know, their biggest sounds that they're known for. It was all a start to that specific type of rock, that specific type of metal music, if you will.
Definitely.
New metal does still fit within that genre. But as a whole, Linkin Park became my favorite band after I finally grew to appreciate them. And you guys, being probably a little bit older than me or around my age, were able to get into them on that big prime time special. Meanwhile, I'm coming after like Hunting Party, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I like some of the songs from Transformers, but, you know, I didn't have that personal ultimate connection yet. And so I've grown to appreciate so much more music, especially when it seems, unfortunately, that someone passes away or something happens where they break up, then I go back and I say, wow, like they had something so special, so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I go back to Linkin Park, just like your cover did for me, I say like, there's nothing like them. They're so interesting and you can listen to them on repeat and you don't feel the fatigue. Like you can have an artist, right, that you truly love. I love Red, but if I listen to like Hide, my favorite song from their first album, if I listen to that on repeat, I'm like, okay, I get the gist. But if you throw
Mm-hmm.
Crawling on, I'm never going to stop listening. I'll just keep
Yeah, it's
listening
like it's
over
so
and over.
layered.
Yes.
It's like an onion or an ogre. It has layers. Um, but I mean, you
Nice.
find it's so cool. Like their Meteora and Hybrid Theory, especially. Every song has so many layers to it, and like little, like you start to listen to it in like lossless audio, and you find all these little parts that like you never remember hearing growing up. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I mean, they put their heart and soul into those records for sure.
Absolutely. But yeah, I'm happy that you guys did that cover. My next question is, what inspired the idea of covers after your first album, which is literally perfect. If anyone hasn't heard the first album, I reacted to the entire thing from beginning to end, some of them out of order. You guys can go and check that out in the links down below. But I promise you, we're going to get even more awesome music. And that's just a hint of what we're going to be talking about. All right. So, the cover idea. Who came up with it first? Because you guys did Iris. And that was what like really launched it, besides the Frosty the Snowman that still needs to be on Spotify.
Ooh. So like we're not a cover band, right? Like we never like set out to be a cover band.
Yep.
We want first and foremost our music to be in people's ears. Like our music, not covers of other people's music. I love covers. I love all the loved cover bands for sure too.
Mhm.
But we did a contest on our social media where it was like pre-saves or something for on one. I feel really bad not remembering exactly, but it's been a busy couple years,
Yeah, you're good.
We did a contest on our socials. If someone like it was pre-saving one of our singles or something like that, and we took every name and we put them in a hat and like we pulled out the name of someone, and the person who won got to pick a song for us to cover and release. But well, actually, I take that back. It was just a cover for them.
Okay. So it was a
And
personal
they
thing.
chose, yeah. And there's someone, I think she was like from France, which is super cool.
That's so cool.
But she chose Iris. I always really liked that song. I never like really thought about ever covering it, but we like took it and ran with it, and we produced that one ourselves as well. We did that one all ourselves as a band. We didn't have a producer or a professional studio or anything, and we just really liked how it turned out. Like sometimes you do something and you're really proud of it, and you're like, I want people to hear this. And so she's like, yeah, release it. And so we did, and it did really well, and like a lot of people heard it, and like on our Spotify and Apple Music, it like shows like where people are that are listening to your music.
Yeah.
Like all around the world, which is just so cool.
Best
It's not
exposure.
all coming from Minneapolis, Minnesota. We love our hometown, but it's super cool to see people from all around the world listening, which is like insane to me to like even think that that's a possibility. But and you see a lot of bands, their covers like jumpstart a lot of bands. Like
They
I
do.
Prevail, for example, when they did Blank Space, that like shot them up into the stratosphere. You know what I mean?
The one
That
and
song
only
like
Taylor Swift song that I will respect.
fair enough. But it was cool to see that. And yeah, like I said, it wasn't a super like overt thing that we're gonna release this cover. It just like turned into that. It initially was something personal, and it still is. And I I really like that we did that and let someone choose a song for us to do.
Yeah.
It's super risky, and I'm not gonna lie, like if we dug through that hat and the person chose like WAP, you know, we wouldn't have done it, you
Yeah.
know, because we we want kids to be able to hear our music. You
Yeah.
know, we're not like prudes or anything, but I want like kids and my parents to listen to our music and not be like, whoa, dude, like, chill, you know? So, but we saw that song and we're like, oh yeah, it's a jam. Like everyone knows that song, like most people do at least.
Mhm.
And so we were like really happy that that's the one that we chose. Um, but yeah, it's sorry for the 800-minute explanation of
No, no.
that.
Long-winded
It's
responses are what I live for when it comes to interviews.
all right. Yeah, it was just kind of a story behind it. So, you know, now you know.
That's so cool, man. So it was a personal connection that you had with one fan, chosen by comment section or something like that.
So, well, we put names and the song in a hat and
Oh,
folded
cool.
them up in like little pieces of paper. And yeah,
The good
there were
old-fashioned way.
some weird songs in there if I remember correctly. But that one was I think it was a good fit for us. You know, we shot a music video for it like pretty much immediately, which we didn't know how to play the game like that back then. You release a single, you should release a music video.
Yep. That
And
seems like the case for covers as
yeah,
well. I don't
hmm
understand the idea of that because I'll get some of them. Like you're like, okay, let's make a really cool video for this one big song. But when you do a cover for every single song, it becomes less of a this is about the music and it's more about look at how cool we are playing the music. And it's like, but that's not your music. That's like,
some bands who like mostly do covers like really crush it though. And I am oftentimes amazed at like State of Mind and I'm blanking on the name.
no resolve.
No Resolve. Yeah, Oscar is just an absolute monster. I love that guy. Um, they have original music, and their original music is great,
Yes.
you know, and it's really good. And they're good writers, and they're very talented. But some of their covers are just wow, they're like insanely good, and they understand their market so well,
Yeah.
and like their fan base so well. They give people what they want from them, and they do it masterfully. So I wouldn't really consider them cover bands because they are original artists too, and their music is so good.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's you got guys like that who are just like so talented too. You know, I mean, obviously there are some covers out there like why it's music. Music's art. So my why dude to another person is whoa, dude. You know, but
Very true, very true. The simple mind of someone that doesn't play music and doesn't like live and breathe music, they're gonna be like, this is really good music. And to us, we're just like, I mean, they could have added the high note that was supposed to be in the original, obviously. That where was the scream? I didn't hear the scream. Like, that's
that
how
is that is the musician's curse, man.
it's critical.
But you also really learn to appreciate the work that goes into other people's music too.
Totally.
Like I can hear a song that I'm like, I don't vibe with at all, but you hear the intricacies and the work that goes into it and the labor of love that goes into it. You can appreciate it for that. Like
Absolutely.
there's some genres I won't touch.
Oh,
I just, I don't like all genres of music. And there's some I will not, I don't really give the time of day to. And I probably should expand my, horizons with that.
mhm.
But I know what I like. You
I
know,
will I will help you if you just keep in touch with me. I will get you into as many genres as I possibly can, minus Taylor Swift. And I
I
really,
like her.
she's fine. She's fine. It's just like overhyped to the peak that I was like so obsessed with her. And by the time that she changed into pop, I was like, wait a second, wait. You got me to
I'm
like
back.
almost appreciate country music for a moment. Now you just went this way.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that.
Yep.
There's something to be said about the ultra marketability of certain sounds and you know artists kind of changing genres to fit into what will get their music in the most ears.
Mhm.
And you see it all the time.
So I'm going to put this all together as a big, huge present. We're taking everything that we've talked about so far. Breaking Benjamin, your cover of Iris, new artists, breaking through, making it big. Have you heard the cover of Iris by Diamante and Breaking Benjamin?
Yeah.
What do you think of these new, like, really talented vocalists coming together? Like, most recently, Lizzie Hale and Daughtry with Separate Ways. Do you like that this is becoming like a trendy thing where you get super powerful vocalists working together to cover incredibly well-known songs? Or do you feel like this is just like another step in their path of like, how can we gain more people to get ready for the next thing that we're going to put out? More exposure.
I think it's smart. I mean, they're good, and they're good songs, and they were good songs, and they're still good songs, and other artists made their takes on them. It's smart in a way that other people who haven't heard them before will hear them that way. You know what I mean? It will bring you into a different market of people. I say market of people not as in like I'm farming algorithms of people, but more as the industry terms.
Yes.
You know, people aren't just numbers or markets or anything. Absolutely, they're absolutely not. But in the industry terms, they're reaching markets that maybe they weren't before, and it's cool to hear really big artists take on other really big artists' music, you know. And like Separate Ways was really smart. Like this, if they did it like 6 months ago, it would have been even smarter with
The
Stranger Things.
Things. Yeah.
But it's really good. Like Chris Daughtry, man, he's always also been a vocal inspiration, and I have known him since American Idol. That's the first season of American Idol and one of the last ones that I watched. But I mean, he's always just been so good in this genre, you know, and I've always really appreciated him as an artist, a very strong artist that has been shaped and formed and pushed and pulled millions of different ways, and still, like, at the end of the day, he's still him.
Yes.
Which is nice to see.
Yeah. Through all his trials, tribulations, everything he goes through in his personal life, he still brings it to the microphone 100%. I saw him live, saw him open for Nickelback, and he had the energy. I don't know if his band did, but he had the energy.
Yeah, he is. He's got it for sure. You know, he should have won American Idol. Like, give me a break. Come on, judges. Simon, give me a break, bro. But yeah, it's cool to see that. It really is. And if any of the aforementioned artists happen to be listening to this, like, hit my DMs. Like, let's collab.
Especially Diamante, right?
Actually, yeah, that would be super cool. I heard about her the first time when she did Hear Me Now, I think, with Bad Wolves.
With Bad Wolves. Oh my gosh, what a collab.
That was the excellent song. Love Bad Wolves. That album was also like almost perfect, like start to finish.
Oh, it is perfect. I own it.
Yeah. It's so good, dude.
I couldn't hold back. I was like, this album blew me away from the first time, first track, Officer Down. I was like, wait. All I heard was their cover of Zombie. And this is how we start the album. It was like I Prevail with Bow Down. You get that immediate heavy, and you're knocked on your ass after that, and you're like, yes, this is exactly what metal is supposed to sound like. So I was very happy with that album. But yeah, Diamante, I think she's fantastic, a phenomenal vocalist. I would really like to hear her compared to Lizzie Hale, or if they could be on the same track together, just to compare.
That'd be cool.
Because I think they both have the extreme loud strength that most females do not possess, and it's so cool to hear that in rock music. And I really love her sound overall, and she's changed her hair, so you know that's part of her identity, was that blue hair phase, and now she's on the blonde hair phase. So I'm like, where's she going next? Red hair, green hair, what do we got?
if you really dig that sound, like female fronted hard rock, have you heard of Cold Kingdom?
I have not heard of Cold Kingdom. I thought you were going to say Spirit
They
Box.
Spirit Box stuff too.
Oh
Cold
yeah.
Kingdom, they are phenomenal. I've been listening to them for a long time, and their lead singer featured on one of our songs. Um, Remember October, the acoustic version. She featured on it,
Yes.
and
Yes.
she
I was going to
is
say that.
so good. We got linked up with them because Ian Colmes is he's like a juggernaut in Minnesota, Minneapolis, especially, but he's all over the United States. He recorded our debut album at River Rock Studio, and he also does their recordings. And so we kind of met them through him. And when we did our debut album, we're like, we have to do a version of this song with her. Elisa, um, Elisa Ogard is her name. And we just played a show with them in November, and that was awesome. She came in on the stage and sang it with me, and that was awesome. Like the people loved it. And so yeah, when you talk about like Daughtry and um, Lizzie Hale, and then Diamante, and man, I'm
And
like so
Burnley.
lost. And, yeah, Ben Burnley. That was like one of the things, especially the Iris cover. I like the male and female vocal mix with
Yes.
harmonies and stuff. It's just so cool. It's so cool.
It's one of my favorite things about collaborations, especially
Yeah.
with these extremely talented vocalists. They're able to play off of each other perfectly. Like the harmonies alone on Separate Ways.
Yeah.
I was like, man, Steve Perry probably heard this and was like, yes, this is the sound. Sure. This is what I want. Because I've heard the a Skylit Drive version, and I've heard that multiple times. It's basically like adding tempo to it and making it super emo vocals, but
emo indeed.
It doesn't have the impact that the Daughtry one does. It just feels very modern Journey, and I was
Sure.
happy with that. I just showed it to my parents the other day actually, and they were like, "Yeah, this is good."
That's awesome.
It doesn't scare away the modern happy pop radio listener, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
If you could collab with any artist, who would it be?
Adam Gontier.
Adam Gontier of 3 Days Grace, of course. Most recently, what was his
Saint
most recent?
Saint Asonia is
Saint Asonia.
his current band. That's like I didn't have to think too hard on that one. Like Adam, if you're listening, come here. He was, like I mentioned at the beginning of the interview, he was like one of my favorite vocalists, and the raspy, harsh, but still beautiful and melodic voice that he has is just, you don't see that. You don't hear anyone else that sounds like him. There's a lot of people who want to sound like him, and there's a sound, right? Like a lot of the like super radio friendly rock, there's a sound, a little bit of gruffness, and I do it too. Like I sing certain notes, I could put some grit behind it, but you can tell it's effortless with the guy. Like even the way he talks, you can hear it in his voice when he talks. It's just, nothing quite like his voice, and it's just phenomenal. And he just sang a couple songs on stage with 3 Days Grace a couple days ago with their current singer. Yeah. And that video like gave me some hope, like, come back, dude. It would be cool if they did like Matt Walst is their current singer, and he was in My Darkest Days before.
Yeah.
Also a super dope band. They're singing together, and their voices sound super good together. I'm like, man, come back as like a duo lead singer band with both of them. That would be so cool.
Absolutely. I'd like Left, Right, Wrong, by the way, or Right, Left, Wrong. Right, Left, Wrong.
Yeah, it was one of those.
So good. Absolutely. That was my favorite from the new vocalist. First time I heard it, I was like, is Adam back? And then people are like, no, that's the new guy. I'm like, are you sure? He's got some rasp. I mean, he could be back.
He does. He didn't change his voice, but he molded his voice to fit with 3 Days Grace, because it's different. It's softer in My Darkest Days.
Definitely.
I like that. I like the ability to be flexible And a lot of people say like there's no OG 3 Days Grace, but I don't really consider them two different bands because they're both so great in their own way.
Yes. I could say
And
that
they keep pumping out good music.
that last album that was like their big one, Chalk Outline, that song
Mm-hmm.
on what is that album? Transit of
Transit of
Venus.
Venus.
Yeah, that was his last album with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then they had Human next. That song, I was pumped every time I heard that. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great song.
It's such a good
That
song.
song's a hyper.
Oh, definitely. But that's a great artist to choose to sing with. What was the main inspiration that got you into 3 Days Grace besides being an angsty teen? Was it the lyrics that really drew you in? Was it the just the vocals alone? You were like, you could talk or listen to this guy talk on interviews all day long.
It's so this is really weird, right? Like only a couple people would probably ever know what I'm talking about. You remember the PSP,
Yes.
the Sony PSP? I bought one when I was little. I was in like middle school, so little, but they had a demo disc because they had those little UMD discs had their
Yes.
games. And there was a demo disc and it had Home by 3 Days Grace
Great song.
on that demo disc, the music video.
Wait, what?
And yeah,
A music video?
yeah, dude.
I was expecting like an MP3. They gave you an MP4.
I'm assuming, yeah, dude, it was a music video. And I'm assuming
cool.
they were probably signed with Sony then, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's the first time I heard them. And then it was Cold by Crossfade was also on that demo disc. I'm gonna find it on eBay and I'm gonna send it to you.
Bro, that's so cool.
Dude.
That's
But
so cool.
I was like, like playing like GTA on PSP because my parents wouldn't let me get it on PS2 or anything. So I got it on PSP so I could still play it without anyone knowing. And I put that demo disc in to like play Ape Escape. And I see like these music videos. I'm like, I don't really listen to music that much. Let me check this out. And I heard that song by 3 Days Grace. I was like, holy crap. I have a new favorite song and a new favorite band. And so it's like kind of history there,
Hell yeah.
And that's the first time I ever heard 3 Days Grace.
That's an incredible way to find them, though.
Yeah, it's so cool, man. And
it's unexpected, and you didn't know like the impact of that, especially Cold. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude, it's so
what a
and
song.
It's funny, like my dad, who's the best person in the entire world, he would drop everything to like bring us to school every day, bring me to hang out with my friends every day, bring us to practice, like every day. Right?
Yeah.
And he would always play 93X until like they swore or something. He'd turn the channel or something. And I heard it on 93X. 93X, I'm sorry, it's our local rock. It's the rock station in Minnesota.
Gotcha.
And 93X rocks. But we're on there every Sunday night. But anyway, I heard the song playing when my dad was driving me to school or something, or practice or whatever. And it was like a crazy like click, to like hear it on the PSP, not even knowing they're a huge band.
Yeah.
You see it on PSP and you're like, oh, that's cool. But then you hear it on the radio and you're like, oh, they must be like really doing something. They're on the radio. And then LimeWire hit and I got my CD and I'm ripping CDs and their whole discography that was out at that point. I had it and I was just listening to it all on repeat. I just absolutely fell in love with that band from a PSP disc, which is just crazy. But yeah,
that is crazy. That is crazy. Like some people will say like, oh, I love this band because they were in the background of a game that I played. Like I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, so I got into Papa Roach and like Rage Against the Machine and whoever else was on there. And for the longest time, I didn't know who they were. I just heard them, I heard Blood Brothers from Infest on that game. And so I never really connected to it. But Fuel from Metallica was like my first experience with Metallica because it was the intro to Hot Wheels Turbo Racing. but it
Oh,
wasn't like,
throwback, dude.
yeah, it wasn't like
Throwback.
like a demo thing that they gave you. The demos didn't come to like much later, but I'll say like the closest experience I've had where it was like a random event. Unfortunately, it was a song I had already heard, but it like re ignited my love for this band. The first iPod I bought myself was a used iPod. I think it was like a resale store or something like that. The only two tracks on it were Bring Me to Life and
Mm,
Going Under from Fallen by Evanescence. And I was
nice.
so hooked on them after that. I was like, this is a sign from God. I need to listen to this band again. And I
That's
was
it too,
so,
man.
so pumped. Yeah, it was so good.
Like unconventional ways of like stumbling across music, especially like in your adolescence, it becomes like a nostalgic factor too. You know, like when I hear that song or either of those songs that was on that UMD disc,
Yep.
it brings me back to like laying in bed at like 2 a.m. playing GTA, you know, and like brings me back to being a kid. And like nostalgia is the most addictive drug in the world, you know. Um, but yeah, it's cool like having unconventional ways of discovering bands that turn out to be like huge worldwide bands.
Yes. And I wish the best for my favorite band currently, since Linkin Park is on hiatus at the moment. I'm hoping that Red will finally hit the mainstream because they did hit our rock station, Will Rock, the rock station. They hit our rock station, and for the first time, I was like, Red made the radio, and they did like the poppiest song, and I was like, no, no, no. This
Red is so good too.
they chose Gone out of all songs. That's what they were playing at like 3 in the
Hmm.
morning in Chicago. And I was like, why that song? Pick the one that's cool and rocky, you know? But I was happy that they were on there regardless. And I'm hoping
Good.
for the best. Like you just said, like they are amazing. They deserve the credit. Like Starset's overloved by the fans. You got Sleep Token right now blowing up big time. I'm hoping that Red will fit like right in that niche where people are like, oh,
Like space rock.
depth type music. Yeah, space rock is
That's
so
like space rock. It's like Starset is so dope. I
they really
love
are.
Starset. Red is man. Red is. I started listening to them around the time that I was listening to The Connection by Papa Roach. You know, sitting in my car, like discovering new artists and
Yep. So
long
you had
commutes.
Until We Have Faces came out at that time.
Okay, yeah.
Because yeah, Papa Roach was 2012, so Red would have been 2011.
Sorry, I'm looking at my phone to
No,
find
you're good,
this.
man. I had it too. I was like trying to get it on Spotify as soon as you said
Well, it's probably Breathe Into Me.
Breathe Into. Oh, okay. First album, End of Silence, first song.
Yeah, like I went pretty hard in like everything AI. It's funny, like my old car, when I'd plug my phone in,
Yeah.
it would play my songs alphabetically. It would just go straight into it. And it's
So
always
mine did too.
AI. It's always AI by Red. It's the first song that plays.
Oh, dude, I've had that exact same experience. It was
Yeah,
Acid Rain by Avenged Sevenfold until I uploaded all of
great
Red, and
song.
then AI also would show up there.
Isn't
Yeah,
that funny?
it is great. It's a
It's those
great way
little
to
things, man.
re-expose yourself. But yeah, Acid Rain
Yeah,
is such a good song. I
that is a
absolutely
very,
loved that vocal.
very good song.
All right, so now we're gonna go back into nostalgia. I want to know, what is your favorite kids movie from your childhood?
So it's funny. I have a 6-year-old son, a 3-year-old son, and a 2 week old son. And I kind of like force like the stuff I liked on my older boys.
Mhm.
It's fine because they like it. But it's like it's all Ninja Turtles, right? All Ninja Turtles, all Spider-Man, all Pokemon, Star Wars. Like that's it. That's all they like.
Pretty sure I have
They're not
everything
about that.
except for Ninja Turtles behind me right now.
Not too late. But they don't like the Coco Melon and like the like that little kid stuff. They're like,
Yeah.
let's watch Ninja Turtles. I'm like, yes, this is why it's the best being a dad.
Yes.
I get to expose them to everything that I loved as a kid, only the good things that I had as a kid. But um, man, like Pokemon, the first movie is like a big heavy hitter
Mhm.
in my house. Um, Land Before Time.
Oh, you said my movie. You
Oh,
said my
nice.
maybe, man. That's
Man,
crazy. Second
gotta get
try
me
too.
some more of them. Gotta get me some more of them tree stars, man. Um, The Land Before Time's a good one. Um, Star Wars: A New Hope.
Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yeah, that was a heavy hitter when I was little. I mean, little, like
It's above me
four
right
or
now.
5 years old. My dad would play it, and I'd be with him, and we weren't concerned about like the violence stuff. And I'm not like a super violent guy. It didn't rub off on me,
Yeah.
but I can't wait until my kids are old enough. I don't know how old is old enough to watch those, but it's
12
coming up soon. I think
preteens.
like maybe 6.5. So like in a month from now.
Oh, going
Um,
for 6.5. Okay, okay. Yeah, no, that's not bad.
um,
These days, I mean, it's very different. So I could say like
oh,
they're PG
my wife
13
would
stars.
my wife would not be cool with me letting him watch that now. Um, but yeah, like Land Before Time, Pokemon movies. Um, Man, we watched a lot of movies when I was growing up. I really like Jungle Book. Man, it's hard to you put me on the spot, Dan.
I'm sorry, man. But I was gonna say, since you told me beforehand that you like Pokemon, I was like, he's gonna pick like the Pokemon the first movie or something. And then you
Oh,
were
dude,
like,
I
the
love
the
Pokemon.
first movie is so impactful. And I'm like, yep, he said it. I
Dude, I
love
love Pokemon.
I love the story. I don't know anything about it, and I love the cards. I always played with the cards. I liked the story from the movies, but I could never follow the show because I would end up on a like mid-season episode and I'd be like,
Oh yeah.
"What's going on? Who is this? Why are we fighting them? What what's happening here?"
Yeah. I was also really into the Dragon Ball Z movies when I was younger.
Those
Um,
things are so good now.
Dude,
Like
I
like
love Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball
incredible
Super.
action, incredible.
Yeah.
Do
Like
you ever
even
play the
like the
game? Budo-
Kakarot.
You ever play Budokai?
Oh yeah, dude. Budokai 1, 2, 3. We had a GameCube, so it was like only Budokai 1. You know how Nintendo be.
Yep.
We had Budokai 1, and then Budokai 2 came out like years later. And we played a lot of Budokai 2, but Budokai 3 never came to GameCube. So we missed out on that
Oh, we
until
only?
we had Tenkaichi,
Oh,
which was like the evolution of Budokai, like 3D fighting space instead of like the 2D fighting space.
yeah.
Dude, you just opened a can of worms with me, bro. But I've been
DBZ, this is
playing,
where we're going.
yeah, I've been playing Kakarot. I just beat the main story on PS5, and I play little bit of it on Switch. So like new baby, got to be in bed. So I'm like playing on my Switch, playing some Kakarot and a little bit of Fighter Z or Fighters, however you pronounce it. But yeah, dude, good stuff.
Yeah. I remember the first time fusing with one of the characters in the game. I was
Yeah,
so excited. I was like,
go Tanks.
what? Yeah. Ah.
Absolutely. Fusion. Ah,
Fusion. Ah. And
just nerding out.
I I had somehow as a kid, I had a critical mindset back then. I would always ask him like, how long is his hair gonna be before he steps on
True.
it?
Super Saiyan 3 was as long as they went.
Super Saiyan, it's like you go bleach blonde, you
Yep.
start
And
glowing.
now they're blue.
Now you're gonna
Their hair's blue
trip on
now.
your hair. Like it's so weird, but
Yeah.
it was cool. My parents didn't like it, so that was cooler. You
Neither
know,
did that. My parents didn't like it either.
spiky hair just did not do it. So anime never was my thing. But did you ever get into My Hero Academia?
Yeah, I've watched the first 2 seasons.
That's where I'm at. Yeah, I could barely go from there because I have no idea what I was in for. I was
It's a
confused.
lot.
It is a lot.
That shows it's a lot. Like I've been watching like Demon Hunter
I gotta watch
on
that.
Netflix. The first season is really good. They just started the third season. I watched a couple episodes of the second season. I'm like, man, I got too much going on right now.
Wait, Demon
It's like
Hunter or Demon
investment.
Slayer?
Wow, I'm so dumb. Demon Slayer,
You're good. You're good.
Demon Hunter.
Demon Hunter is a great band, and I think that there is an
Oh yeah,
anime. But
Demon Slayer. Yeah,
Demon Slayer. Yeah, my friend he just covered a song from there. It's a Sawtooth Storage or something like that. It was really cool.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Demon Hunter is dope. I like Dead Flowers.
Dead
That's a
flowers.
yeah, that's a great song.
Dude, such a good song. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that'll get me on a tangent. See, that's what we're gonna do. Back and forth tangents. Who cares about focus anymore? We're doing an interview right now. All right, next question. What can we expect from Weekend Picnic this year?
More shows. We're playing Rockfest.
Hell yeah.
So we've got a show coming up at the end of June, June 30th in St. Paul. We're playing with the Failsafe, whom I know you have done reactions for. Great
And
guys, good friends of
interviewed.
ours.
Yep.
Oh, I did not know that. Good guys, good friends of ours. We're playing with them, Denny, and Throw the Fight.
Nice.
So we're excited for that. And then in July, we're going to Cadott, Wisconsin, and playing Rockfest. We have 2-hour-long sets, and it's going to be very hot. I'm probably going to lose my voice, but I'm super excited for the opportunity because we play right before Pantera, which is pretty dope. And
Wait, like right before?
Yeah, it's like a staggered time. So like there's the main stage and then like 2 side stages, and they have it set up so like you're never not hearing music. So like when change outs are happening and other bands playing, like,
Okay.
it's super cool. It's really smart. The guy who runs it does a really good job.
Definitely.
But yeah, we have an hour-long set, and then after like Pantera's done and stuff, we have another hour-long set. So we have an hour-long set from like 7:30 to 8:30, and then they play, and then we're on from like 10:30 to 11:30. No, 9:30 to 10:30. I forget already. Isn't that bad?
9:30
like
to 10:30
hour.
p.m.
Yeah. So we have like an hour between.
And then Pantera comes to the same stage?
No, they're playing on the main stage. So they're
okay.
Yeah. So I think we're the only band playing when we play on our 2-hour sets.
Oh, hell yeah.
But super nervous for it, but super excited for the opportunity. And
Totally.
it's going to be really big for us. And a lot of people are going to find out about us there, I think. And there was like 50 some thousand people that went last year. So,
woo!
And they're definitely going to have more this year.
Definitely.
So like, some people are throwing around numbers like 75,000 people, which makes me kind of want to pee my pants. But
going for a full arena.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to wear a catheter or something because 2 hours of performing is not something our first show we performed for an hour. And that was dope. And yeah, this one will be outside, which is cool.
Definitely.
It'll be hot,
yeah.
which is good for the voice. But yeah, we have that to expect. Then we have another show in August in Rochester, Minnesota. And that should be really cool. It hasn't been announced yet, so I can't say who we're playing with, but they're super dope and they're absolutely going to go as far as humanly possible, I believe.
Quick question. When will that be announced?
I think they're still trying to iron out the lineup.
Okay.
Probably not before this interview comes out.
Okay. Because I was gonna say it comes out in like the end of May. So if it comes out before that,
probably not then.
Okay, cool.
And then we are hopefully going to release at least a single. We have a lot of music that is pretty much done, and we want to get on that single schedule and release a single and a music video and like do the whole game of the doing it right this time. We have a very rigid time frame that we're working on, and we have a schedule that we're going to hopefully do our best to keep. And I've fallen behind, of course, writing lyrics on I think we have 2 more songs that I have to write lyrics on because life has been nuts. We just had a new kid, like I mentioned, and he's 2 weeks old. So life has been crazy, and I have been trying to find the time to write these songs without putting out nonsense. You know what I mean? Like I want to be inspired still when I write.
Yes.
So I have to be in the mood to do it. I can't just like be like, oh, I forgot I got to write lyrics tonight. I'm going to go take care of that. No, it's got to be, I have a process that I have to keep. Otherwise, I'm just going to put BS out there, and I don't want to do that because it's
No,
not representative of what we want people to hear.
never rush
So,
anything unless you know it's 100% ready.
exactly.
Like that's it.
So,
Is like just get it ready and then continuously master it, perfect it.
yep, exactly.
Make sure people that you're close to vibe with it, like me.
I'm in. But we're going to push really hard on like Sirius XM, Octane, and we have a lot of stuff planned that I'm not supposed to talk about.
You're
but
good. You're good. You don't have to talk about it.
yeah, it's not like I'm not like one of those guys like, oh, it's a secret, like you can't tell anyone. But it's just like I don't want to, betray my bandmates. So, but big things coming, like everyone says. But sometimes, like it actually is true. I think what we have brewing is like 100 times better than anything we've released, and I mean that. There has been some tragedy, and there's been some heartache, and experiences that have really formed some really powerful stuff, I think. And we want people to hear it. And, sad songs, you don't want people to feel it. You don't want people to kind of understand the feeling, but people do. Everyone's been sad. Everyone's had terrible things happen. And my tagline on social media might be sad songs only, but we don't only have sad songs. We have some really fun ones coming up, and like real like pop rocky, like fun stuff, and like our heaviest stuff too.
Sweet.
It's
I was
like
gonna ask that.
It's an absolute roller coaster, and I'm super, super pumped for people to hear it, and I'm pumped for certain people to hear it, especially.
Perfect. All right. My next question. You said that you are not the main screamer, but are we expecting to hear more screams on your future endeavors?
Oh yeah. So not all of our songs, right? But we have a couple that are like a lot of it. Like Patrick, our lead guitarist, is just an absolute monster. He is he's not like a super shy guy, right? But he's not like vying for attention and conversations. The type of guy I'm talking about.
Impressive. As a lead guitarist, yeah. I'm impressed.
He's very talented guy. He doesn't need to tell you how talented he is, though. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys. And he has just been like honing his craft and like getting super good at it, and like his fries and like his extreme like anger is coming out. Like maybe he's got a bunch of pent up like the rest of us.
Good.
But like it's coming out, and like some of these songs, I'm just like in awe. He's always been great, but it's like you see a progression in someone, and it's just like awesome to see. And I think like this record is like a progression for all of us, and I'm sure everyone says that, but like we've become like we didn't really know each other before, like this first album, like we were together for like a year, and you can't really like get to know someone that well in that time. But here we are, we're on 3 years plus together, and we work so much better together now. And like the line of communication is so much clearer, and like our intentions behind everything are so much more like meldable together. And I think people are going to hear that there's a like profound progression, in this record and in our first single whenever we release that, which is hopefully soonish. But yeah,
awesome.
You'll hear a lot of new stuff,
and so it will be heavy, but it will be sad, which is a very, very good mixture. I don't know if you've heard anything from Spirit Box recently, but heavy and sad is like some of their favorite things to mix on almost all of their songs.
heavy and sad, man. It's some of us are just sad. Like we all get sad sometimes, and sometimes you need to like put that out in the world without hurting someone. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to make other people sad to feel better. But
Well,
like if you can,
going all the way back to Linkin Park with Crawling, I mean, absolutely gut-wrenching song even
exactly,
before he passed. And now that he has,
exactly.
it's like the impact of it just
A lot of it
incredibly.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had
But
tons
yeah,
of
this
songs like that.
this is like a lot of sad stuff, but a lot of like hope, inspiration, and like when you need that like pick me up to like do another rep or like get your ass out of bed, like we got those. And they're inspired by certain events that like a lot of people I think could really, understand. And um like I said, real sad stuff too. But like like I said, man, like life is sad sometimes, and like taking experiences and putting it on paper, and it for me as a singer, like that makes what I record so much better when I'm actually feeling it
Mhm.
instead of just like phoning it in. Which you hear songs where people phone it in, and like especially as a musician, like you can really tell, you know.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
yeah, I know you know what I'm talking about. But and like really happy songs, like love songs, that'll make you like grab your wife and squeeze her extra tight,
Yep.
and like I'm lucky, like I love my wife to the end of the world, and she is like the best person in the world, and she inspires some of my lyrics too. So she gets to might as well put her as credit in a couple of these songs coming up.
Perfect. That's good, man. And personality, I mean, that's the thing about it is like you can have a personal touch, but you have to have the personality as well. So having a sad song, a heavy song, a happy song, an angry song, it's a good mixture. And for a full album, this is what I'm excited for because a lot of people I've been interviewing recently are like, nah, man, we don't have time to do full albums anymore. Everyone wants singles. Everybody wants this. Everybody wants this. EP
That's
single.
true.
It's like, it's nice to hear that somebody's ready to put out that LP, prove that they have, engaged themselves enough as a band. Like you said in the beginning, you guys were fresh to all of each other and you made a perfect album, but you can
Thank you.
do it again and you're going to step it up. And you've had that kind of camaraderie. You guys have become brothers as one, and you're a family making this music now. It's no longer just, hey, I'm Ehren. Hey, we're the guys. Hey, let's kind of do something with music and stuff.
Exactly.
So I'm looking forward
Very.
to hearing the progression and reacting to that and making sure that everybody else is able to find you as well. Before I finish the interview, I have one more question for you. Your name on Instagram is Danger Ehren. Now, I don't know because I think that we're in the same generation. Have you ever heard of Ehren Danger by chance?
From Jackass.
Yes.
He spells his name the same way as me.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. I was like, did
Yeah.
you take it from him or did he take it from you?
Yeah, one of my previous jobs, my direct supervisor always called me Danger. And my current job, my favorite supervisor, who supervises my supervisor, he always calls me Danger. And at first, like I didn't get it. I didn't watch those growing up. I was like too scared to like get
Oh,
in
okay.
trouble or go to the bad place or something. But like I've watched them all since, of course. Like me and the boys
Yes,
at work
same.
will get together and we've watched all of them together as a group.
So funny.
And yeah, that absolutely. I mean, my name, my parents like wanted it all unique. Ehren for anyone listening who doesn't know my name.
Mhm.
It's super like no one else has that. But I see that in the credits of this movie and I'm like, what? I'm not alone. When they told me in high school that I was alone, they were lying. But yeah, that's pretty much why that's my username and my PlayStation tag and like everything else.
Yeah, and you never get to have the challenging word of Aaron, A-A-R, Aaron, Aaron,
Oh man, I get Ren. It's like, hey,
Aaron.
Ren, what's up?
That's great, man. But yeah, that's funny. So you did see it in the Jackass credits, and you were like, okay,
Yeah.
that's gonna stick with me. So, Ehren, danger, Ehren. I love it, man, and I'm so happy that your supervisors have a good sense of humor too. You could tell that, yeah, they've definitely seen their fair share of stupid shit online, and it's good. It's good because I'll tell you what, Jackass Forever was a bonding experience for me and my future bro-in-law, and we watched everything. I'm not kidding, man. I was like, I love this movie so much. We're gonna buy every single season of every single show. We're gonna get the stand-up. We're gonna get things signed by Steve-O. Who is your favorite Jackass member, by the way?
Probably Preston.
Preston.
Yeah, dude. He's
He's funny.
like people don't appreciate him enough,
He's
like Bam.
yes.
He like won't do half of the stuff,
Bam is
you know?
Bam had his own not commercial. He had his own success with his own show, the Viva
Yep.
La Bam. But
Yep.
he's like a
Poor Phil.
psychopath.
Yeah. But Preston is like the most like harmless dude. And they just like make him do some of the worst stuff and he just like does it,
And
you
he's
know?
always in pain. He's
And that's
always like
another
almost
like
crying.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron does anything.
Yep.
And
100%.
he's awesome. He's like everyone's like, oh, he's such a baby. It's like, dude, you would be too. You wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do any of that stuff. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no way. No way, especially with how far they're pushing it nowadays.
Yeah.
My favorite member probably Steve-O, just because of personality. I've seen him do his YouTube channel, stand up, podcast, all that. But also Wee Man. I'm gonna put him on the same level. Wee Man is so funny.
Yes. Yes.
He's such a good sport, especially with the leprechaun sketch. And anytime they take care of his height, that's like the perfect asshole friends to
Yeah.
do that. And then
And Steve-O, like you gotta like appreciate him.
he's like
Like
he like loves pain.
and like now like he's
No,
like
no questions.
sober
Yep.
and like he's like grown up. Like I'm not saying he wasn't before, but like he
Yeah.
lived a certain lifestyle that he like learned was not conducive to him being alive.
Very true.
And
Very
he
true.
made some like really good, cool changes in his life. And I was super proud to see that. I'm not usually like proud of people I don't know,
Yeah,
but like it's cool to see like someone who was so like on the line, like on the edge, like their whole life, and then like
definitely.
decide what's important.
He was
That was really cool to see.
yeah, if he wasn't drinking, he was always on some kind of drug, he said. And yeah, he would lose consciousness all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be hooking up with people all the time. He didn't have any control over anything because he did it for the fame, and the fame got to
Yeah.
him. And yeah, like you said, he's grown up. He's definitely matured over time. But my favorite guy, I don't know why, Chris Pontius, man, needs more respect. That dude
Mm-hmm.
is
He does.
so funny. Party boy, just the random shit that he could get away with in public. He's like the
We used to do that to
person,
people in high school at dances.
or just start dancing like this.
Yeah, we just party boy around them. Like
Yeah,
you'd
they
always
did
go to
that
the
to me
kid.
in high school. I never understood it. So now that I'm on the
Well,
inside, I'm like, ah, damn, that is funny.
we
Okay.
would do it to like the kids that like no one was talking to. Like
Yeah.
no one was talking to this kid, and he's just like sitting in the corner by himself. It's like some people I'm sure had malicious intent behind it, of
Mhm.
course, but like there's a way to like get them involved and like having fun and the spirit. Like I said, some people were for sure malicious with some of that stuff, but like it
Yeah.
felt like cool to involve people who weren't involved in stuff in like some dumb stuff like that.
The dumb stuff helps though. I mean, it gets people out of their shell.
For sure.
You definitely feel embarrassed because you're doing a stupid ass dance,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a popular thing because Jackass, as insane as it was a family of friends that just wanted to have a good time, and I never respected it. Same for you. I grew up in a very Christian household, and it was hard for me to get a hold on anything that would have the word ass in it that had nothing to do with the donkey that took care of Mary for Jesus's birth. Like that's the only time that when it was mentioned in the Bible or mentioned in the scripture, and we got to hear it in church, I was like, oh my gosh, he said ass.
I was there too, man. Every time
And
I heard that in church.
you get all that, you get that giddiness that you should as a nice innocent kid. But nowadays, as an adult, I can say I'm happy I've caught up on these things and I can really appreciate them, just like music, just like everything. And speaking of appreciation, I appreciate you, Ehren, for being here with me, dude. I expect that when this new music comes out, I'm gonna react to it and send that to you immediately. You'll send me the whole album right away, and then I'll react to that underground, wait for it to come out, and then we'll do another interview with all the rest of the guys as well in a daytime
Yeah.
setting.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Like, that's super cool of you to have me interview. And, I love meeting people, and I love like telling stories, as you can probably tell, because I can't ever shut up. But I do really appreciate that. It was awesome to meet you. Like I said, digitally, like we're not face to face with like a beer in our hands, but
Yeah,
it's nice to talk to you and like get to know you and be able to explain some of the meaning behind some stuff is cool without having to write it out.
totally,
So
man.
I do really appreciate you taking the time, and I want to give a shout out to you because it's important for artists like myself and my bandmates and other bands to have the ability to have someone to talk to about this. Like, the interviews are so important, and I don't ever want to take that for granted. Having you reached out to me to interview, which is just so cool.
Happy to
And
give you guys the limelight that you deserve, that spotlight that you deserve, and I'm looking forward to that evolution. Like I said before, seeing how much you've grown in the past couple of years, it's going to be amazing.
that type of stuff in this time we're in right now, it's not free. So I appreciate you out of the goodness of your heart and the love for your craft. And you love, obviously, interviewing people, because you are definitely one of the best interviews I've had. You're easy to talk to and fun to talk to, and your questions don't make me want to walk out. So I appreciate that. I hope everyone that you interview is appreciative of what you do for artists.
Oh, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you for appreciating me, for appreciating you.
Appreciateception.
Appreciate. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in for this incredible interview. Make sure that you guys are checking out that description in order to support this incredible band. Weekend Picnic will be running through your radio, will be running through your Spotify, your Apple Music, your everything, all over that gym playlist. Next time you're doing your reps, you're like, I need something to kick ass. You know where to go. Weekend Picnic, baby. Thanks again for watching. I hope all of you guys have an awesome day and stay safe out there. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to the Media Man Dan podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks for listening. Have an awesome day and stay safe out there. Peace.